Hi, today I'll be demonstrating how to install Pixtral, which is a AI model released by Mistral, and how to get it up and running on in this case I'm going to use Runpod because that model is too large, and for the largest GPU that you would get on Colab it will not fit, so it doesn't work on Colab, and that's why setting it up is not straightforward. It took me a bit of time to get it running, and I hope to share that knowledge and see if we can benefit the community as a whole. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, let me go here. So this is the model that we are talking about. It's called Mistral uh, AI, released by Mistral AI. It is Pixtral, and this is a vision model. So that means you can give it an image or basically an image, and ask it to iterate this to you, and basically it can dictate whatever is there on the image, and it's quite comprehensive, it's quite good, and there's a video that I will be releasing very soon which will discuss the capability of this model in depth, but for now we'll be setting it up on the Runpod server. So for now I have this Runpod server where we have to deploy a container, and they call it pod, and I mean I'm not sure if this can support multiple GPU and things like those, which we don't see anyways here. So what we will be looking at is something like at least 80 GB just to be safe. Normally I think it can fit easily in 48 or 60, but it's better to be safe and go for 80 GB one. And I just for the because the model size itself is 26 GB, so we definitely need a bigger disk, and okay, if I can just to be safe, let's just go to 80. Other things are okay, I'm fine with these volume disk and things like those, and yeah, let's start this pod, and this is where we'll be installing Pixtral, and it will take few minutes before it can go get up. And what you would see in is Runpod is quite good. I like Runpod because it whenever I am looking, I always find GPUs available, so it's a good platform. And yeah, it seems like it's up now quickly, and we go to connect, copied. So in my case there was a peculiar error that I have done, so I need to change the SSH file, and it's called Runpod. So we do SSH into the container basically, and we are inside the container now. First thing we are going to do is install Anaconda, and I like Anaconda because it has Python and it has most of the libraries that you need. It comes pre-packaged with those, like Jupyter and things like those. So definitely we'll go with Anaconda now, but you can use any Python version, and it should any Python and pip installation, however you want to do it, as long as there has to be a execution server running where you would be executing code to install Pixtral. So I'm going to copy link address now, and I copied it. I go wget to download the file into the container. The speed of download is quite nice as well. You can see 100 and something, so it's quite good. Now it's installed, it's downloaded, we have to install it. So I'm doing bash anaconda, pressing enter to see the license, Control C, which will take me out of the license view and tell me whether or not I need to accept it. I would say yes, and then most of the settings are going to be default, so we will be just pressing enters as we see them. So Anaconda is being installed. so base environment and things like those. It's almost ready. In a second or two it should be installed. I hope doesn't take too long. No, it did not take too long. It's fine, we can say yes now, because why not. And then we can just type source home bash rc to activate the environment. Now conda environment is activated, which is nice. What we need to do next is to set up the SSH access directly, so that we can go inside this container and do the SSH tunneling. What SSH tunneling is and why we are doing it. So when we are running Jupyter notebook in this environment, we would want to connect our computer, which is in my case this laptop which I am working on, to that environment. And SSH tunnel is a way like of course you can go online and find more about it, but what this is in general terms, it is the way to forward some ports from a remote containers or operating systems to local operating system. So we are going to do that. First we are going to do is making sure that we have SSH access available directly to this environment, and for that what we would do is what we need to do, install apt-get install nano. This is our editor, I'm sure you guys know about it. So we go nano and then SSH authorized keys. We need to remove this one, and we need to put my local public key. I did that. Now we save it, and now we can just start Jupyter server. Jupyter notebook allow root, because we are running this console as root, and normally it's not a good practice to run sub processes where users will be interacting. Using processes as root wherever users are going to use those processes, like Nginx or whatever. But because we are going, this container is not supposed to live for long, I am just going to demonstrate how to set this up and then delete this container, and I'll be the only user. So yeah, we will be going ahead with it. Now it is ready. You can see the Jupyter is running. What we need to do next is we need to find the SSH tunneling command, which is from my last container, so I need to make some changes to it, but it should be okay now. And we need to take this command, specifically the, don't want to copy SSH and all, right, specifically this part, and then we can just say id runpod, and this should give us the port ready. Like we can see that. Now what we are going to do is, I'm going to use VS Code because I am very comfortable with it, and it has good support for notebooks, Jupyter notebooks in this case. And yeah, I just want to make it a little bit bigger, and then we need to select a kernel existing. This was my last one. I'm going to delete that. We need to paste that URL with the token and then say click connect. So it will try to connect it, and it says localhost, so that's fine. We have selected the kernel and selected the server, now kernel, now it's ready. So from here on, most of the steps that we are going to do is mentioned in this documentation. So we'll start. The first command is installing VLLM. So this, in my experience, takes some time. I'm not sure how long it will take, but probably, like, I would say couple of seconds, couple of minutes, I would say. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, most of the packages are large, and like we can see that 600 and so on. So of course it's not a surprise why it takes so long. So anyways, we'll wait for it to be completed. All right, let's see. It seems like packages are installed now. I mean, downloaded now. They must have been installing now, I think. So it says successfully uninstalled, installed. So probably all the final steps. 1 minute in. We'll wait for it to be completed. Meanwhile, we'll see what are the next steps. We have to install Mistral, set up the HF token, Hugging Face token, to access the model, and then just run the model. But not really run the model, because here is when the model will be actually downloaded, and this would be a kind of a big file, which would be 26 GB, I think. So yeah, I think it should be done. Yeah, it is done now. Finally, now we'll run the next command. All right, it is doing it. Oh, done. That was a quick one. All right, let me get the token. Just a second. This is a delay from my end. So we'll paste the token, and our token is done, and it says everything is fine. We have login as successful, so we can get to our next step, wherein we will be downloading the model and running the first inference together. I mean, this is a very interactive script that keeps on giving us updates. So I think it's not like you are looking into a black box and you don't know what is going on. In this case, we are getting quite a lot of information as to what is happening, and let's see. I mean, by now already we can see another 2 minutes to go for the model to download. Not very fast, not the fastest I have seen, but not with the slowest as well. It's moving quite rapidly. So this setup that we are doing in Runpod has multiple way of setting things. One is, of course, you have a server, and then you can run your models and use that model into your application. But there is another way that I kind of like it a lot, and that is serverless architecture in Runpod. That is a very good way to deploy these models, right? Because what you end up doing is you only pay for the time that these models are used, and normally that comes up with little bit of cold start. So the first response may take some time, but then just everything just is very rapid. And in my experience, it doesn't matter, especially if you are doing ML workflows, because AI ML workflows, because typically the performance matters more than the first response. That's what I felt. And if the performance is good, I don't think it's any issue. I mean, like, you can definitely mask these kind of things in the UI by showing some sort of like interactive animations and things like those. We do that all the time. So yeah, that is serverless, and I like that. But I haven't tried to do the Pixtral setup in that way. But if you guys want, if you want to do that, comment in the video, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to jump into that and show you how you can set up these uh, serverless models in Runpod, which is kind of what I would recommend for you to do it in production. So it doesn't matter even if you are putting something like Stable Diffusion, Llama, or any other LLM, because any sort of generative model or large language model, because you don't have to pay too much bill. So as we were talking, we can see that the file is almost downloaded. Let's wait for some more time. Alright, let's see. It's so at this moment it's just loading the model for inference. So still we are in the LLM definition use case, but yeah, let's wait for some more time and see what happens. Meanwhile, we can just see the status of the performance things in Runpod, what is happening. So we close that. We can see we are using 50% of the container, we are using 30% of the GPU, which kind of says that we are almost done loading the model, if we have to go by those metrics. Alright, so save tensors checkpoint is done. GPU executor is going to execute the code, and yeah, still no error so far. Very happy. I mean, I spent most of the day today to install this, and I'll be very happy. Yeah, there it is, the model. Yeah, so I'll be very happy. No errors happened. I'm very happy that this time everything went smooth, and you can see that it processed the prompt in, I don't know what is this, 25 bits per second. Speed input is 600 tokens per second, output is 51 tokens, quite fast. And image depicts a black dog lying down on a wooden floor. So yeah, this is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. If you see, this is the image that we passed this model for asking what it is, and model has done a good job in giving us that image depicts a black dog lying down on a wooden floor, looking directly at the camera with a relaxed expression. I have created one more prompt just to see if the model is working. I was doing something earlier. So this is a picture of a famous Indian cricketer. He's my favorite cricketer, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and I'm asking if is this MS Dhoni. Send him the image URL, send the model the image URL, and model will have a look and tell me whether or not what it thinks. And you can see that the model is very fast, and if you are, I mean, this is expected. If you are running on something like 80 GB GPU, then these models are going to run very fast. So the image features a man wearing an Indian cricket jersey, which include the word India prominently written, also smiling at the camera with arms crossed, logo. Yeah, it is likely that this is a photograph of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, which I said is this MS Dhoni, and it said this, but it is not really. So what a lot of people from the initial benchmark are telling that this model is not very logical in terms of what it says, but it has excellent vision capabilities. So it can see the image and tell you exactly what the image is. Quite nice. So yeah, that's where we are, and yeah, this is where I'll stop this video. Glad that you have joined this video, and let me know what you would like to see next. I would love to hear what you think. Thank you.